This is the regular meeting of the Mobile City Council, Tuesday, December 7th. Please stand for our invocation by Dr. Bryant Pugh, Outbreak Christian Center, and remain standing for the Pledge of Allegiance.
Let us bow our heads. Father, we thank you for this day. We thank you, God, for this great city of Mobile. God, we thank you for each and every man and woman in this room that helps to make this city great. Father, we ask that you will be in everything that's said and done in this meeting today, so that the reactions from this meeting, God, will be a reflection of your will and not our own. These and other blessings we ask in your Son, Jesus' name. Amen.
Amen.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Roll call. President Small.
Here.
Vice President Gregory. Here. Councilmember Penn.
Here.
Councilmember Carroll.
Here.
Councilmember Reynolds.
Here.
Councilmember Daves.
Here.
Councilmember Jones.
Here.
Statement of rules.
And good morning, everyone.
Good morning.
It's another great day in Mobile, Alabama. Even though it's cloudy outside, we have so much to be grateful for. So again, it's another great day in Mobile, Alabama. We'd like to welcome the citizens to our December 7th, 2021 meeting. At this time, I ask if anyone has any type of electronic device, cell phone, please at this time put it on the off or the vibrate position. The off or the vibrate position. Any person desiring to address the council must sign in indicating the resolution, the ordinance, appeal, or public hearing agenda item before entering the meeting. When addressing the council, the speaker must state his or her name and address. Any person desiring to speak to the council on a non-agenda item must contact the city clerk office no later than 2:00 p.m. on Thursday prior to the council meeting. The subject that he or she wishes to address the council must be identified to the City of Mobile business. Any person who has not given proper notice to the city clerk office and wishes to speak on a non-agenda item would not be allowed to address the council. Each speaker is allowed 3 minutes to address the council. A bell will indicate the end of 2 minutes, 1 minute remain for summarizing. The second bell indicates the time has expired. When addressing the council, there is to be no personal address to any individual council member. All statements are to be made to the chair, who will recognize any council member who wishes to respond. To maintain decorum, there will be no undue applause and or public outcry allowed. Madam Clerk.
Approval of minutes of November 30th.
So move. Second.
Been properly moved and second. Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed?
Communications from the mayor.
Good morning. Good to see everyone here this morning. Appreciate you being here. I have several things to report on. One is yesterday, the mayor's administration, along with the executive directors, had a council retreat with all the city council. It was a team building exercise, or a team building retreat. And I'll have to say that I think I'm speaking for everyone, that we really enjoyed the opportunity to get together and I'm going to say play games about team building. And if you have never participated in it, it really does make you stop and pause and realize how important it is to work together to move the ball forward. Anyway, it was a great experience of us having the opportunity to get to know each other on a more personal basis without talking about any business of the city. It certainly set things, I think, headed in the right direction as we go forward over the next 4 years. So it's something I also think that we'll continue to do from time to time in the future, because so often we just get so caught up in the rote business of doing business of the city, we stop and fail to realize how much more we could get done if we work together. So did any of y'all bring your Legos with you this morning? Anyway, That's a side joke. All right, so the state of the city. Last week I had a privilege of speaking on the state of the city. I had a conversation with WKRG's Peter Albrecht about a 100-day agenda and a 1,000-day framework. At that meeting, I stated that the state of the city is very strong. And we're on our way from, I would say, being very strong to being great. So anyway, honored to have the opportunity to represent the city during that meeting. Last week on Friday afternoon, I attended what was one of the largest promotion ceremonies in the history of the Mobile Police Department. We had over 36 officers who were promoted. Some were promoted to corporal, some to sergeant, some to lieutenant, captain, and majors. Anyway, it was very gratifying to see all the families there in support of all of our fine men and women who are being promoted to positions of leadership in the police department. Another kudos, a shout out for our Animal Services organization. They had a very successful adoption event. I think last week we told you about the Howl-A-Days adoption. And anyway, for the staff and the volunteers and the students at the Alabama School of Math and Science who helped make that possibility of finding home for these pets was sincerely appreciated by everyone. Upcoming events, Friday, December 10th, the Parks and Rec will be hosting the December Art Walk in the Downtown Entertainment District. On Saturday, December 11th, we will have another Roll Mobile. It's called the Roll Mobile Jingle. My understanding is going to be at the Civic Center and start at 6 o'clock. So, Sean, I don't know if you were there, but I did challenge Peter Albrecht to a roller skating somewhere, and you're saying I can't roller skate. Okay.
He can ice skate though and play hockey, so go figure.
We can't
We'll have to come up with another time. We don't want to get hurt before the holidays. Okay, so the last thing I would like to do is very important, and that is read a proclamation about the official Christmas tree ornament. And I would ask Frank Hawkins if he would come just stand at the podium, Frank, and I will read it from here. Whereas Goodwill Gulf Coast provides services in 10 counties along the Gulf Coast and is a leading nonprofit provider of the services for people with disabilities and others in need, and whereas Goodwill Gulf Coast provides employment services, children and family services, early intervention programs, therapy, support, social services, medical assistance, and adult educational services. And whereas Goodwill Gulf Coast is introducing the 2021 Christmas on the Coast Ornament, the 28th year in a series of limited edition Christmas ornaments that help to support Goodwill's valuable programs and services. Now therefore, I, William S. Stimson, the 108th Mayor of the City of Mobile, do hereby proclaim Christmas on the Coast Ornament as the official 2021 ornament for the City of Mobile, done this 7th day of December 2021.
Okay, thank you. Okay. This is our 28th Christmas ornament. They all depict landmarks of our community. This year's is the USS Mobile. It's kind of special to me. They're all been special, but this one kind of hit a heart with me. You know, in the 1400s, the first Spanish ship sailed up into Mobile Bay. And it was so beautiful and magnificent that they called that bay the Bay of the Holy Spirit. The Bay of the Holy Spirit. And let's fast forward now to 2021. From 1400 to 2021. Look what this city, this community is today. And you, the mayor, and you, some of you are brand new in this position, but you're here, you're in this spot. You are the folks that are leading us down the path to be the greatest city in the world, not just Alabama, in the world. I'm not from Mobile. I came here 42 years ago. I love it. I love it. It's a great community. And I want to thank you for your public service, your leadership to make this community the best it can be. This ship, the USS Mobile, was made locally by local people. 500 folks, 5,000 folks built this ship, not only with their hands, but with their heart. I'm so proud. That ship will go and serve this nation, this world, and make it a peaceful place to be, which we all know history has taught us that's hard to do. But this ship, with our name on it, will be a peacemaker throughout the world. I'm proud of that. I represent Goodwill. We've been serving this community for 65 years. We have a team of 500 employees. 42% of those 500 employees are people with a disability. They give 110% every day, more productive than any of us could be in certain times. We accept people for who they are and where they are and try to direct a path that will lead them to become all that God created them to be. That's what we do. This group of 500 people serve 10,000 folks throughout our territory that we serve, giving them an opportunity to become all they can be. So I'm proud to be a part of this community. I'm proud to be a part of Goodwill. And I'm so thankful for all that you continue to do. God bless you. God bless Mobile. Thank you.
Thank you so much for all your hard work.
And Mr. President, and Frank, while you're still there, I thank you for these ornaments. You give us each one every year, and I have every one that you have brought since I've been on this council. I have them on display in my office, so thank you. This USS Mobile is really special to us.
Thank you,
Thank
Tina.
you.
I appreciate that.
I have a question. So, do you use this as a fundraising tool?
Yes.
Okay. So, if someone wanted to buy one, how do they go about doing that, and what is the cost?
They're $15 a piece. They can be purchased at any one of our Goodwill stores. $15 a
Yeah.
piece, and can be purchased at any one of our Goodwill stores.
Okay.
Plus, on our website, you can purchase them and we'll mail them to you. More people are doing that now than buying them in the outlets. But the major jewelry stores in town have them. I'll leave somebody out when I start naming them, but they're all listed on our website as to where they could be purchased.
Yeah, makes great Christmas gifts.
It's a fundraiser for us, and it goes back into serving people in our local community. Thank you.
And let me just say thank you for what you do. I know you've got a couple of facilities in my district, and you do help tremendously those that need it, and it goes directly to them. So thank you for all you do.
Appreciate it. Thank you. Thank you.
You done, Mr. Mayor? Mr. Mayor, you did? Okay.
Adoption of the agenda.
So moved.
Second.
Been properly moved in second. Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
And opposed? Adopted.
Appeals, we have appeal of Keith Nisley regarding the ARB's denial of his application to install vinyl windows at 415 Flint Street.
Motion to lay over 1 week.
Second.
Been properly moved in second. Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
And opposed? Appeal granted for label for 1 week.
We have a request for waiver of the noise ordinance on June 25th at James Seal Community Center, December 11th at Foster Lane, December 31st. This is on Cody Road, and this is from 8:30 to 10 p.m. And December 18th from 2 to 4:30, and this is on Josephine Street.
So moved.
Properly moved in second. Any discussion?
Yes, Mr. President.
Ms. Gregory?
On the Cody Road, I just want to make sure they understand that we have changed their request from 12:30 a.m. until 10 o'clock p.m.
Any other discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Those appeals are passed.
Public hearings. Today is a public hearing to fix the cost for demolition of structures at 526 Helveston Street, 7125 Mobile Street, 1367 Congress Street, and 1205 Belcourt Drive East.
This opened up the public hearing for the said properties. If anyone present in the ordinance would like to come down and address the council, if so, you may come down at this time. Give us your name and your address. Okay. If not, the public hearing is closed.
Today is a public hearing to consider approval of a certificate of public convenience and necessity to Myra Darrington, doing business as Scott's Carrier, LLC, to operate a sedan service.
This opened up the public hearing to hear about the certificate of public convenience and necessity. If anyone here present in the audience that would like to address the council, you may do so at this time. And as you come down, please state your name and your address.
Good morning. My name is Myra Darrington. Address is 2854 Briarwood Drive, Mobile, Alabama, 36606. I come before you today to seek this public convenience letter because of my mother. She's 79 years old, now living with me, bedbound, wheelchair bound. And I have found it extremely hard to find transportation. I paid $400 for ambulance services, left on the sidewalk with no service, and left at a doctor's office 3 hours after an appointment, waiting on a ride to go home with her. So I decided to purchase a vehicle so I can get her to the doctor, but then I found out the need of other people. So I purchased 2 more. And I've come before you today to try and get this started so I can help the elderly, the disabled, who are like me, left without. That's all. Thank you.
Thank you for coming down, and if this is granted, congratulations, and thank you so much for your investment into the community.
Thank you.
Okay. Is anyone else here present that would like to speak on this public hearing? If not, this public hearing is closed.
Presentation of petitions and other communications to the council. Theodore Arthur, Jr.
Good morning, everyone. I'm not accustomed to playing for this many people this early in the morning. It makes me a little nervous, but I came to talk to you all about something.
1 second, Mr. Arthur. Can you give us your name and your address?
Okay. Theodore Arthur, Jr., 228 South Williams Avenue, Pritchard, Alabama. I've been working for the city for the last 25 years in Parks and Recreation, doing the music. And I'm coming to you all today to talk about something that's been pressing on my mind recently. This is my 63rd year in the music business. Started right here in Mobile. And on October the 8th, we did our 63-year anniversary out at the locale. And we had one of America's most famous musicians to come and act as a speaker, Mr. Fred Wesley. And I don't believe anyone else in Mobile has played with as many top name artists as he has. And I guess I might be next to him because he went to Central and I went to Blunt. We were graduates of the 60 class. And so what I'm concerned about now is that the level of musicianship is falling down tremendously in Mobile. New Orleans is 150 miles away from here, and they have at least 3,000 musicians working every day, and they're making decent money. And all of the musicians coming here get paid a lot of money because they're professional. And we don't have the skill level up to get the kind of money that we deserve. So I'm trying to get a building where I can rehearse. Right now I don't have a place to rehearse my band. I'm putting together a 12-piece orchestra. We don't have a place to rehearse. We need a lot of instruments, and there's a lot of equipment that has to be purchased. And I mean, I've been down here. Mother got me out of the music business when she got sick in '83, and didn't want to go to a nursing home, so I had to leave my career. And she lived 13 years and then passed away. So I lost my spot in the world. I mean, I was doing okay until then. And I wouldn't be asking y'all for any money today if had that not happened. But since it did, I need to see if we can get some grant money for technical assistance and to get a building, equipment, and I need to hire some musicians on a full-time basis that I can train to write, read, and promote music. And that's what I came for, and I need your help because we want to bring this up to another level. We have a lot of people coming here and visitors, and I want Mobile to represent what the world should know about us. We are intelligent, well-read, talented people that have a lot to offer. We take music away from the society, and this will be a very boring place. So I want to see about bringing the level up. I've been teaching for the music in the city for 25 years, and I have some examples of some people that I've taught that tells me that I need to take this to another level. I have two boys that finished from Davidson 3 years ago. One of them is at Syracuse University. The other one, he has a full scholarship. He went to Myra Institute. Okay, I'm sorry. Well, that's it. Well, that's what I need, y'all. And I want to tell you too that I'm in the African Town descendants, and I may have to come back and talk about that.
Any comments from the council?
I'll be glad to.
Mr. Carroll?
Thaddeus Arthur is a FAMU grad. I graduated from Florida A&M, part of one of the best bands in all of America, the Marching 100. I hear you. The other thing is that Thaddeus Arthur, and he doesn't like to be called Theodore, it's Thado. Thaddeus Arthur, Shadrach Collins, his son Scooter works in the Mobile Parks and Recreation Center. Had an instrumental part in me playing music. I played piano a little bit, not as much as I used to. Thaddeus Arthur also taught my middle daughter how to play the piano, and she is a pianist and she doesn't want to claim it, but also an athlete, which led to my youngest daughter, Morgan, who is the complete ensemble of musician, actress, dancer, and all that. And that's because Theodore used to come to our house once a week to teach my middle daughter. But what he didn't know, he was teaching my younger daughter through my middle daughter. It's contagious. We talked earlier today in pre-council about David Saint and the band in the city of Mobile. But Mobile has such a rich history of artists that have played with some of the biggest bands in the world, Lil Greenwood and Count Basie and all these things. I frequent a little place in District 1 on Sundays where I had the chance to sit and talk and listen to Fred Wesley that weekend on Sunday and listen to these guys play over at the Rascals. The city has so many special places with so much rich history in music and other things that transpond not just the country but around the world. We've got to start telling our story and our stories, because there's so many hidden jewels in this city that we're not talking about. And I appreciate you coming down today. I've read this proposal and oh my God, it's monumental, but I don't know what we can do. But again, as I've been saying constantly, when we're all working together for a common goal and going in the same direction, there is no telling what we can do. So at least this gives us an idea of where we may be able to go.
Yes.
Mr. President,
Yeah,
one comment. Hearing your proposal, what I hear is a school.
Yes.
And this would be a minority-led school. I'm sure there's got to be grant monies available for something like this, to this endeavor. But we're not the grant authority up here. I would research who that grant person is. There's folks that are experts in searching grants and writing grants.
Yes, indeed.
And I bet you that they would go a long way towards filling the request you have here.
That's my main reason for coming. I know I could get some help, because things that I can't do, I always ask people that know how to do it to give me some assistance. Okay. And I thank y'all.
All right, thank you.
Mr. President,
Yeah,
I'd
Mr.
like to
Mayor.
say something. So, Mr. Arthur, Shonda Smith, that you know Shonda.
Yes.
She is geared up to visit with you. So, in order to understand how much money is needed, you will need to come up with a budget and how much, what you're wanting us
sir.
to consider. So
Okay.
if you work with her, she will help you develop what will be kind of a wish list of things that you would like to see, and then we'll see what we can come up with.
Oh,
Okay.
great.
So-
God bless you all for helping me, because I feel so I'll sleep well tonight.
Well, we haven't done it yet.
That's
We're
all
headed
right.
in the right direction. But
It's in the plan.
But let me say this, that, I think next to you, I may be the senior person in this room. And to see you stand up there at your age and make a request about the difference that you've tried to make in your community
Yes, sir.
is really gratifying. So thank you for all your years of service to the
Yeah.
Excelsior Band and to this community, and God bless you.
Well, I want to say many thanks to you. God bless you all. And Mayor Stinson, I appreciate you. You told me you were going to do this, so amen. I appreciate it. Thank you. God bless everybody, and thank you for being here.
Thank you.
Reggie Hill.
Thank you, Madam City Clerk, citizens and stakeholders of Mobile. Good morning, Reggie Hill, 1007 Center Street. I rise today to discuss 4 issues: Lad Peoples, the SPLC letter, ARP, and the 251 challenge. I'll begin with Lad Peoples. I want to say that I agree with the sentiments that were expressed by Mrs. Gregory to urge the city to support the PR and marketing needs of Lad Peoples Sports and Entertainment Complex said this morning in pre-council. It's mentioned by other advocates this morning and previously expressed by the Lad Peoples Board, particularly the management team, the Michigan Group. There's a lot to unlayer here. However, based on how we have allocated resources in the past, I think this allocation is a no-brainer. So as you consider that, please keep that in mind. Regarding the SPLC letter, it was mentioned a couple of weeks back, and I wanted to touch on it, but there were some other issues that I needed to address last week. Some of you may remember in 1971 when Professor Bill Riddick hosted a summit called the Charrette, which placed civil rights activist Ann Atwater and Ku Klux Klan leader C.P. Ellis as co-chairs of the same summit, which in a short span of time led to the integration of schools in Durham, North Carolina. These two people that seem to be completely opposite from one another end up becoming the best of friends. And so I'm here to challenge our city's leaders today to accept an invitation to participate in a more innovative approach to that same gesture right here in the city of Mobile, Alabama. This will be facilitated by Success for the Future. Even Mr. Derico Davis, who's in the audience today, served as a co-host to a youth version of this particular event at the Mobile Area Chamber of Commerce, and the Public Safety Director, then Chief Batiste, served as a panelist. Disparities based on ethnicity, classism, and geographical setting is real here, regardless of how we want to approach it and look at it. And it's time that we actually do something tangible about it if we want to see a difference made here and improve the quality of life for our city. Regarding the ARP funding, has there been any update given in reference to the status of social services ARP funding? And if that is so, when will this information be made public? Because of the time frame, I'm going to refrain on the 251 challenge intimate, so I can share that with you all next week in a more full manner as well. It will give you opportunity to see some materials that I believe will be beneficial to your understanding fully, and I hope with the remainder of the time we can have a response to some of those questions that were mentioned.
Would the administration like to respond to Mr. Hill's questions?
Mr. Hill will put his questions in writing. We'll handle them accordingly.
Thank you so much.
All right, thank you. Thank you, Mr. Woods. Madam Clerk.
Joe Michigan regarding Resolution 31-1064. Following Joe Michigan is Danny Cordy regarding Resolution 31-1064.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Joe Michigan, 9,000 Pine Run. I'm here today to discuss the future of Glad People Stadium. And good morning to you, Mayor, as well as the staff. I may be the third oldest, and Ladd certainly is the oldest. We need your help, both financially and moral support. Ladd suffered some unkind words in the last few months, and we need to rectify that, and we're going to do that through a marketing program that we hope y'all will support. There are many issues down there. We can rectify them. We've done it before. When we got involved with Ladd, there was zero revenue. We built it up through different events, and we had a large reserve. We can do it again. We just have some obstacles that we can overcome through marketing. We have several events that we're talking about. In fact, I had to cancel a Zoom call to come down here with the promoter that promoted the Morgan Wallen concert out at the fairgrounds. He wants to do something at Ladd, and I'll hook up with him again tomorrow, hopefully. We have some other, we met with the mayor and his administration with another promoter, Leo Bennett. He's wanting to do some things, and I think the mayor's on board with trying to help. So we also have a couple of football games over there too as well. So we're trying to broaden our scope and do different things, not just football, but concerts. And everybody, all the promoters who come down there, especially concert promoters, love the facility. It has the ability to do a concert outside the stadium, and we have the ability now to do one inside the stadium. So we're the largest venue in Mobile. We can house big crowds, which hopefully we will get big crowds for these events. And again, just need your support. So anybody have any questions?
Yeah, I do have a statement. Thank you for coming down, Mr. Michigan. Last week we had learned that pretty much the communication between Ladd and Mr. David Clark, Viz Mobile. I mean, y'all not talking, communicating rather. I'll put it like that. In order to make sure that your functions are really broadcasted. Yesterday the council and the administration, we did an exercise, and we played with some Legos, and we imagined that we all had our own agenda, but the agenda was to push the city forward. I had my agenda, other council members had their agenda, administration had their agenda, But without them telling, our agenda to each other, we was going, different ways, and we couldn't move, like we should have been moving and making it, project, go like it should be, because we didn't have that communication together. And I charge you to pretty much, from this day forth, to pretty much to work with, Visit Mobile, Mr. David Clark, and try to just move, LAD forward. When LAD moves, the city moves. We all move. We all in this thing together and everything. So I do charge you, from this day on to pretty much to work with Mr. Clark and try to just move, just not on the LAD, but continue to move our city, forward.
Happy to do that. And starting this month, you guys will be receiving financial reports and a copy of our board reports every month. So keep y'all in the loop as well.
Anything from the council?
Mr. President?
Yeah, Ms. Gregory.
I agree with what Mr. Small just said about partnering with Visit Mobile. We discussed that this morning during our pre-conference meeting, just to make sure that as you bring in these events, you're planning well ahead so that Visit Mobile and you and your promoters can work together to put together package deals, because we want people to come not just for the event that night, we want them to come and spend the weekend with us, right. Stay in hotels, eat in restaurants, and all those sorts of things. Also, just to be clear, the money that we are approving today is for public relations and advertising. Correct. For the events. Mm-hmm. Not correct. To put a positive spin on LAD Stadium itself. This is PR and advertising for the events that we are bringing into the city.
Right.
Okay.
Correct.
And I'm not trying to put her on blast, but I think one of the best person in this city, Ms. Smith, work with her too. I'm sure she'll give you some free ideas that can help to promote LAB, because the things that she has been doing for our city.
I think I told the mayor that months ago that she was doing a great job, and we'd love to partner up with her. And
not only that, she have great ideas.
It's a nice
also.
Facility at LAD, yeah. And we ought to be taking advantage of it for the entire city. So,
yeah. Anything else from the council?
Yeah, I'd like to add something.
Mr. Reynolds.
Yeah, thank you, Mr. President. We had the Administrative Services Committee meeting last week, and I just wanted to correct the record in that regard. You and I talked about the unsubsidized event that was held out at the grounds, where I stated there was 31,000 tickets sold, and I think you had mentioned that approximately 31,000 tickets were sold for 3 separate events. And I went and did some checking. It turns out that it was, in fact, 31,000 tickets sold for one event, and the estimated gate was about 28,000 people. So we just wanted to set the record straight with that. But also, LAD Stadium, I think this is a good leg up for you guys to get you going, to get events going out there. But it doesn't resolve all the issues. We got to get creative on how we can fill that stadium up, particularly with football, as the stadium was built for. And I look forward to seeing you guys work with the other groups that our city has to, cross promote and, do everything we can to get it filled up. But that burden falls, squarely on the shoulders of connecting the dots with you and your organization and the LAD Stadium Board. So as in our pre-council meeting, Mr. Daves made a good point, and that was not only having a look at the income statements, as you said, we're going to do monthly, which, I'm excited to look at those monthly, but also utilization. I think that's an important one as well, to Mr. Dave's point. So as you provide those reports to us, if you could, provide a list of what happened that month. What events did we have out there, so that we can paint a very clear picture of to the public of how LAD Stadium, or how the taxpayers' dollars are being used. I think that would be helpful.
that is part of our board report. Shows all the activities, events, even its, maintenance items that are corrected during that month. So you'll have all of that.
And one other thing, it means a lot to me to see you down here today, letting us know what's going on. It means a lot. So thank you for coming.
I'm glad to come down here every meeting if y'all like. And I don't think you'll want to see me that much, but.
Anything else from the council? Mr. Carroll.
I've said over and over and over again, and Joe, I'm saying this for the community as a whole because of some of the things that I've heard from entities that have left the stadium. I've heard that the stadium's in a bad neighborhood. I've heard that the shooting at Ladd Stadium. I've heard that Ladd Stadium shot someone. The neighborhood is not a bad neighborhood. We have pockets in every neighborhood. Ladd Stadium is a concrete, bricks, and mortar facility. The stadium never shot anyone. It's unfortunate that an individual had an incident out there that provided an opportunity for us as a community to resolve, but the stadium itself never hurt anyone. It's unfortunate that the media continues to present a narrative that goes out beyond our city, that fuels an idea that Ladd may not be the place to play or the place to have an event or an opportunity. The only way that we change that narrative is through groups like David Clark and you and your marketing team and Visit Mobile and the MCVB. It's up to us to provide the correct narrative so that other communities and organizations want to be here. If we continue to print a negative narrative about Mobile and our resources and our facilities, that's what people are going to think. So going forward, again, if we're all working in the same direction, there's no telling what we can accomplish. That means that the media also. So I ask that we all, going forward, work very hard to do our due diligence to see and make sure that we provide a revenue generating opportunity, not just for Ladd, because our other city entertainment venues are going to be facing some of the same issues. And we're going to have to work very hard to provide opportunities there also.
Okay. Any other council members? Thank you so much, Mr.
My pleasure.
Madam Clerk.
Danny Cordy.
Good morning, Mr. President, members of the City Council, Mayor Stimpson, your staff, ladies and gentlemen. I'm Danny Cordy. I'm the Executive Director of the Mobile Sports Authority, and we're at 301 Government Street. And for some of you who aren't aware, we are the sports tourism agency for both the city and county of Mobile, and we're charged with attracting and bringing in these sporting events. So first, what I'd like to say is thank you for your consideration of the allocation of the ARP funding for the Sports Authority. We're going to use that to increasingly market the events we already have, but also try to add the number of events to, especially in the volleyball and basketball arena. So first, I want to thank you there. I also want to rise in support of what Mr. Mishkin just mentioned for Ladd Peoples Stadium, also for the Gulf Coast Challenge and the Bridge Builder Classic. These are events that have are events that have a tremendous growth potential. We have to have the facility to host our largest event, which is the Gulf Coast Challenge at Ladd Peoples. The money that you're going to help them with will again help market these events and bring more people to town. The Gulf Coast Challenge that's coming up next fall could potentially be one of the largest events ever held at Ladd Peoples since the Tim Tebow Senior Bowl. That has that kind of potential because Coach Prime is bringing his Jackson State team here. So again, with the Gulf Coast Challenge, with the Bridge Builder Classic, which is a new basketball event out at the Mitchell Center the first year. Sports, obviously, you have 4 different entities, including us, that you're allocating these ARP funds for sports. Sports tourism has taken off and is red hot since COVID. It has come out and really led the tourism industry as we emerge from the COVID economy. And again, it was mentioned in pre-council this morning about the conversation hopefully we'll have after the first of the year about the entertainment venues that we have. Those entertainment venues are also sports venues, Civic Center, Convention Center. You mentioned LAD. Those kind of venues are also our sports facilities. So again, I want to thank you. I want to appreciate your support, and I'll probably be back in front of you next week as I pull together our fiscal 21 results that I want to report to you. So again, thank you very much.
I have a question for you, Mr. Corley. Thank you so much for coming down on this morning and putting you on the spot. And you may not know this answer right off the bat, but if not, if you can just share this with the council in the future, that would be great. But where does Mobile lie at as far as in tourism with sports among the 5 biggest cities in Alabama?
Mr. President, right now, in terms of facilities, we're still a little behind our competition. Birmingham probably has the most sports facilities in our state. Huntsville's probably right behind them with the investment they've made. Of course, you have Tuscaloosa with some of the University of Alabama facilities that can be used. Montgomery also has decent facilities. Now, again, all this takes money, obviously. Councilman Jones mentioned the tennis tournament this past weekend. That's a perfect example of having a facility that we can attract these kind of events to. Because where we are, Mobile, we've called it a sleeping giant for years, and I still say that with where we're located on the northern Gulf Coast, with our climate, with our cost of coming to see us, which is much less than other cities, we have a lot going for us. We're at the intersection of 2 major interstates. We're about to move our airport downtown, which hopefully will help getting people in and out of here. There's a lot going on positive. And in the sports events industry, there's a term, basically facilities first. If you have to have the facilities first before you can do anything else. So we've taken what we have and made the best that we can, but we are a little bit behind overall of at least the top 2 or 3 cities in the state right now.
So you would say we probably rank like number 4 in tourism with sports because of our facilities?
We could rank, we might even rank as high as number 2 because we've used what we have to the best of our abilities. But Birmingham has better facilities. They just, if any of you have been up to the new area around the new protective stadium and the BJCC Arena, the Legacy Arena, I was there about a month ago, and it is tremendous, the investment that they've made downtown in that whole area that is just attracting events right and left. And that's on top of the venues they already have, like the Sportsplex, the Hoover Met, the Finley Center. Those kind of facilities attract a lot of those sports events because they have the facilities. And that would be the only thing we would be a little bit behind on. Other than that, we have the manpower, we have the want, we have the volunteers. I consider Mobile a very strong sports city, but we could always do better. But I think, heck, we could always do better in everything. So
for a clear understanding, again, are we like 2, 3, or 4 as far as tourism?
I want to say we're number 2, if in terms of what we've been able to attract based on our facilities. I think Birmingham would be considered number 1 in our state. Huntsville's right there, and I still think we're a little bit ahead of Montgomery. But I think I think when it comes right down to it, I would consider us number 2 in the state in tourism, outside of obviously Auburn, Alabama, and Tuscaloosa, who have a little university there that pulls in a lot of football fans. So.
Okay. Any questions from the council? Thank you so much.
Thank you so much.
That's it. Ordinance is held over. 64035, rezone property located at 1490 Telegraph Road from R1 to I2.
Motion to lay over 1 week.
Second.
Properly moved and second in the discussion.
Yes, Mr. President.
Mr. Carroll?
The reason why we're laying this over 1 week is because we've had a series of community meetings with the Africatown community and also the members of Plateau, the activist groups that are involved both on the environmental side and the neighborhood side. And with the purchaser of the property, we found some common ground that allows us to move forward with rezoning, and it also involved everyone in the neighborhood. So it gives us a chance to make a change to an R1 area that's mixed up in an I1 area. What happens next is that when this comes back, we will have an amendment to the original resolution, and then it will go out for advertising after that, and then it will come back to the council, and hopefully at that time it will pass. But in saying that, let me say that this conversation and process that we've had, I mean, we need to take this and build momentum upon it and set up similar processes that involve Africatown all the time, and also use this process as part of the overlay zoning or overlay district for Africatown, that it will be part of the UDC. This is a clear-cut process that involves the community and neighborhood that allows everybody to have some input, and especially when it comes to land use. So especially if we have a land use map out there, this is clear and it's a good process. I'd like to thank everybody that was involved with it as we move forward and hopefully get to a resolution here soon over the next month. Thank you.
Another discussion?
Yeah, just
Mr.
a
Jones?
comment. Mr. Days brought this up in the pre-council, but just kudos to Councilman Carroll for burdening this item. This is no small feat to go from an R1 zoning location to an I2, and for him to shoulder this is no small feat. So kudos to Councilman Carroll for this.
Another discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Laid over for 1 week.
64041, rezone property located at 4459 Government Boulevard from B2 to B3.
So moved.
Second.
Been properly moved in second. Any discussion? Thank you. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion passed.
Resolutions held over. 08-1062 and 1063 are approving purchase orders for fuel for various locations and to Middleton Marine Engine Service for fireboat haul-out and maintenance. 31-1064, update the American Rescue Plan for tourism assistance. 23-1067, accept deed for right-of-way for the McGregor Avenue widening project.
So moved.
Second.
Been properly moved in second. Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Resolution passes.
Ordinance is being introduced. 34042.
By council rules, this ordinance will be laid over for 1 week.
Consent resolutions being introduced. 40-1068 through 60-1073.
Move to waive the rules in order to consider resolutions 40-1068 through 60-1073.
Second.
Properly moved in second. Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion passes.
40-1068, 1069, 1070, and 1071 are fixing the cost for demolition of structures at 526 Helveson Street, 7125 Mobile Street, 1367 Congress Street, 1205 Belcourt Drive East. 60-1072 and 1073 are determining appropriations to Azalea City Community Development and the Smith Memorial AME Church serve a public purpose and approving payment.
So moved.
Second.
Been properly moved in second. Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Passes.
Resolutions being introduced. 01-1074 through 01-1084.
By council rules, these resolutions will be laid over for 1 week.
Announcements.
All right. Let's start with Mr. Reynolds.
Very brief announcement. I had the opportunity to participate in the Tillman's Corner Christmas Parade this weekend, and it was a wonderful event. A lot of folks came out. It was great to see everyone, and it's good to see Mardi Gras back on the streets. Looking forward to seeing it a whole lot more in the months to come. So thank you to everyone who came out and participated.
Mr. Penn?
Thank you, Mr. President. I would like to announce we'll have our Christmas celebration tomorrow at Kiwanis Boys and Girls Club. Starts at 6 p.m. So I'm inviting all District 1 to come out and celebrate with us. That's all the announcements.
Okay. Mr. Jones?
Thank you, Mr. President. What a great week. Week of championships. Viger High School, alumnus of 83, won the state champion football championship for 4A, and hopefully we'll have an opportunity to recognize them here. But congratulations to them, and of course, Roll Tide, the SEC championships, bringing it back home to the state. And just one other thing, we talked about the tennis center. I don't know if many of y'all knew it. We had an event here in Mobile. 9 states were gathered in this city at our tennis facility, which I found out is a state-of-the-art facility in the nation with what we have. And we had probably a little over 120 tennis players in the city this weekend. And I had an opportunity to run into quite a few of them downtown, enjoying our restaurants and stores, and heard nothing but the best of comments from what they saw and experienced here. So once again, we do have reason to celebrate the city, and kudos to the tennis center for putting on an outstanding event. Thank you.
Mr. Carroll?
Thank you, Mr. President. I hope that Chandra would allow the mayor to go skating at the Civic Center. Well, I hope you're going to allow me to go skating at the Civic Center.
I think that's Ms. Jean Simpson's call. You know?
Well, if I break something, I don't know if I can get up anymore either. I'd like everybody to please be encouraged about skating in this event. I don't know if we're going to use that old wooden floor that they used to dance on doing the balls, but it'd be a pleasure to roll around a rake once or twice and actually use one of our entertainment facilities for a good purpose to provide services to our citizens. Danny, I'd like to also commend you. Also, what most people don't know is that we had a small team of 7 girls that went to Orlando and won a national championship in the YBOA about 10 years ago. And upon that, YBOA came to Mobile to set up a super regional sports tournament here for basketball with an experimental floor that's in our convention center that now is an event that goes on and on and on. Those are the stories we need to tell about Mobile and our successes, and those are the kind of stories we need to tell to continue to bring people to our facilities. I'm still looking for individuals to sign up for girls basketball in our parks and recreations. I think that closing date is coming up very soon. If I don't have a team, then I can't play Corey. But also Helen Dunning has also come on board. She wants to coach also. Most of you might not know her by Helen Dunning, but by Helen Myers. That is Pete Myers' sister. Pete Myers played with Michael Jordan and the Chicago Bulls. We call him Skeeter Hawk. He's from Mobile. She wants to be involved in also helping to provide another resource for young women to have an outlet and play basketball. So if you're interested, please sign up. There's a wealth of talent in history here that can help you do some of the things that others have done. I got an email, I think, from Chandra that requested volunteers over the holiday period. I sent a response back, please sign me and my family up. We'll be glad to volunteer as waiters, waitresses, or anything that we have to do to get people to where we go during that process. We'll be more than happy. Also, my 14-year-old daughter is going to volunteer for you also, and her little classmates. And I'd like everybody out there who's also involved with the Dunbar and St. Mary's to do the same thing. This is what we do to support our community, and we're going to continue to do that in District 2 so that we can all move this city forward. Lastly, I see Pastor Marvin Liu at the top, along with Pastor Michael Jackson, retired, in moving Mobile forward with the violence that we've had and the gun violence. Let's remember that we're in the holiday season. To me, this is the most precious and special time of the year. let's do our due diligence to be kind to each other and protect each other as we go through this holiday season. And let's help stop the violence and let's call for peace. Thank you, Mr. President. I didn't see him. Okay, sorry.
All right, Councilman Davis.
Thank you, Mr. President. 80 years ago today, the United States of America was suddenly and brutally attacked at Pearl Harbor, an act which ushered us into the Second World War. From the men who won our freedom in the Revolutionary War to the men and women who protect it today around the globe, we owe thanks for this great country we live in and the freedom we have enjoyed over the last 200 and almost 50 years to the men and women who have protected it for us, including those who died at Pearl Harbor and those who gave the ultimate sacrifice in the war that followed. Thank you, Mr. President.
And Vice President Gregory.
Thank you, Mr. President. Appreciate that. Just got word that the water and sewer line relocation construction work on Ziegler at the North Service Road and Chalet Drive intersection has been removed. So that's good news for everybody who lives in that neighborhood. It's been closed for some time now for all the work that is going on with this widening project. But that detour has been removed and the traffic signal is now operating, so great news. This evening, I am holding my annual Christmas meeting at the Mobile Museum of Art. It starts at 6 o'clock p.m. We will, as always, be collecting gift items for the residents at Wilmer Hall, so I hope everyone comes. If it's raining, just bring an umbrella. We hope to see you there. We should have a really great crowd this evening. On Saturday, I participated and helped with a surprise drive-by birthday party for decades-long president of the Mobile Terrace Community Development Corporation, Mrs. Joyce Chavers. The Marching Cougars Band, directed by David Sank, participated in that, and they did a wonderful job. Also, we had a great escort with the Mobile Police Department, so everything just was perfect. Ms. Shavers was completely surprised, which is hard to do when you live in a big community like that and have a large family, but it was a wonderful event and was nice to be able to do something really nice and meaningful for her on her 80th birthday. But thank you to MPD and to the Marching Cougars for their participation. Made it really special. Last week, Shonda Smith and I met with seniors at the Hillsdale Recreation Center. Good timing because they have some requests, things that they would like to see, and we happen to have some money available to make some improvements. So Shonda and I will be working together to bring some of those requests to fruition. So thank you, Shonda, for attending, and thank you to the seniors out there for inviting us to come. And that is it, Mr. President, from District 7.
All right. And greetings to the citizens on District 3. This coming Saturday will be our 6th annual Parades of Threes. This parade is hosted by Representative Barbara Drummond and also Adeline Clark and myself. And, someone asked the question where the Parades of Threes came from. It's District House 103 and District 3 together. This parade will start off at 2 o'clock p.m. at the B.C. Rain High School and travel northward on Dolphin Island Parkway until Palmer Pillins Middle School, which is located on Old Military Road. Again, this will start off at 2 o'clock p.m. But Revitalized DIP is having their first annual fall festival at the Gulfdale subdivision, and that will start off at 10 o'clock a.m. until 1 o'clock p.m. So this coming Saturday will be a day in District 3 on DIP starting at 10 o'clock a.m. at Gulfdale, which they will have plenty of food trucks, an antique car show, and other items out there for the kids and the community can participate in. Again, that will start off at 10 o'clock a.m. right across from BC Rain High School in the Gulfdale subdivision, and the parade will start off at 2 o'clock p.m. So it will be a day in District 3 on DIP this coming Saturday. Also, citizens of District 3, we will have our holiday social, which will be on next Tuesday, December the 14th at 6 o'clock p.m. at the Palmer Pillins Middle School on Old Military Road, inviting all the citizens in District 3 to come out for plenty of food, fun, and fellowship. And we will have some some entertainment and also some giveaways. And it's pretty much is our annual Christmas social. We didn't have it last year because of COVID, and many CAD groups have asked me about it this year. So it will be on next Tuesday at 6 o'clock p.m. at the Palmer Pillars Middle School. Is there anything else from the council? Mayor, administration? If not, can I get a motion to adjourn this meeting?
Second.
We're properly moved in second. Any discussion? All in favor? Any opposed?